Have you ever wondered why some people will do anything to get what they want, even if it means hurting others? An intriguing question, isn't it? We are about to embark on a journey into the depths of the human psyche, exploring a concept known as Machiavellianism. This personality trait can drastically alter interpersonal relationships, and its repercussions can be far-reaching. So how does this manifest in everyday life? And more importantly, how can we protect ourselves? Stay tuned to uncover the mystery of Machiavellianism. Machiavellianism, a term derived from the Italian diplomat Niccolo Machiavelli, refers to a personality trait which is characterized by manipulation, deceit, and exploitation. Machiavellianism is a fascinating psychological concept. It's like peering into a twisted labyrinth where cunning, duplicity, and strategic manipulation are the norm. It's not just a historical term, but a living, breathing personality trait that exists and functions in our society today. So let's break it down. The term emanates from the writings of Niccolo Machiavelli, a 16th century Italian diplomat who authored The Prince, a political treatise. Machiavelli suggested that rulers could maintain power by any means necessary, even if those means were considered unethical. This idea gave birth to what we now know as Machiavellianism, a trait where manipulation and deceit are employed to achieve personal goals. Machiavellianism is one of the dark triad traits, a term coined by psychologists to represent a trio of negative personality traits: narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism. Each one is distinct, but they all share a common thread: a lack of empathy and a proclivity for manipulation and deceit. Imagine a character who's charming, persuasive, and seemingly empathetic. They might be your colleague, friend, or even a family member, but beneath that charming exterior, they're constantly scheming, manipulating, and exploiting others to achieve their own ends. That's a textbook example of Machiavellian behavior. Machiavellianism isn't necessarily a clinical disorder. It's more of a personality trait, a way of viewing and interacting with the world. Individuals high in Machiavellianism tend to be calculated, strategic, and highly focused on their own personal gain, even if it comes at the expense of others. Remember, it's not about being evil or malicious per se. It's about using manipulation, deceit, and exploitation as tools to navigate the world. Machiavellianism is a complex trait that can be hard to identify. But understanding it, knowing what it looks like, is the first step to recognizing it in the world around us. Now that we know what Machiavellianism is, let's delve into the psychology behind it. The psychology of Machiavellianism is fascinating, as it revolves around self-interest, manipulation, and a lack of empathy. Let's delve into the psychological depths of this intriguing personality trait. At its core, Machiavellianism is rooted in a person's intrinsic belief that the ends justify the means. This belief, often coupled with a high level of intelligence, allows individuals with Machiavellian tendencies to manipulate others in order to achieve their desired outcomes. But why do some people exhibit this trait? While the exact causes are complex and multifaceted, research suggests that a combination of genetic, environmental, and social factors can contribute to its development. For instance, a person raised in a highly competitive environment where success is valued above all else may develop Machiavellian tendencies as a survival strategy. The psychology behind Machiavellianism also involves a distinct lack of empathy. Individuals with this trait often view others as mere tools or pawns in their game of power and control. This lack of empathy enables them to manipulate and deceive without feeling guilt or remorse. Yet this doesn't mean that they are incapable of understanding others' feelings. On the contrary, they often have a keen sense of what others are feeling and thinking. This emotional intelligence, however, is used not to connect with others, but to predict and manipulate their actions. The potential consequences of their actions can be severe, both for themselves and those around them. Their manipulative behaviors can lead to broken relationships, loss of trust, and even legal repercussions. For the individuals themselves, their relentless pursuit of personal gain can leave them isolated and unfulfilled. However, it's important to remember that not everyone who displays Machiavellian traits is a villain. Some may use their understanding of human nature for good, channeling their abilities into leadership roles or professions where strategic thinking and persuasion are valuable. Understanding the psychology behind Machiavellianism helps us to recognize it. But how can we protect ourselves from it? Stay tuned as we delve into strategies for safeguarding against these manipulative tactics. Shielding ourselves from Machiavellianism involves recognizing the signs and creating boundaries. Let's dive into some practical ways on how to protect oneself from these Machiavellian individuals. First off, we need to recognize the signs of manipulation. Machiavellians are masters of manipulation and deceit. They often use flattery and charm to win over others, only to exploit them later. When someone constantly compliments you but only asks for favors in return, it's a red flag. If they make you feel guilty for not complying with their requests, that's a classic Machiavellian maneuver. Next, maintaining strong personal boundaries is crucial. Machiavellian individuals will push and prod until they find a weakness to exploit. By establishing clear boundaries about what you will and will not tolerate, you can prevent them from gaining an upper hand. Remember, it's okay to say no, and it's okay to protect your interests. You don't have to justify your boundaries to anyone, even to a smooth-talking Machiavellian. Thirdly, seek support when needed. It can be challenging to deal with Machiavellian individuals on your own, especially if they're in a position of power or influence. Reach out to trusted friends, family, or a mental health professional for advice and support. Having others by your side can make the situation less intimidating and more manageable. Additionally, it's important to focus on self-improvement and personal growth. Machiavellian individuals often prey on those with low self-esteem or insecurities. By working on building your confidence and resilience, you can make yourself a less attractive target. Lastly, always remember that you have the power to walk away. If a relationship or situation feels toxic and draining, it's okay to remove yourself from it. You deserve to be in environments where you are respected and valued, not manipulated and used. As you can see, protecting ourselves from Machiavellianism is possible, but it requires awareness and action. Remember, knowledge is power. The more we know about Machiavellianism, the better equipped we are to protect ourselves and others from its harmful effects. Today, we've delved into the intriguing world of Machiavellianism, a personality trait characterized by manipulation, deceit, and exploitation. We've journeyed through the labyrinth of this complex concept, unraveled its mysteries, and explored its profound implications. In our exploration, we've defined Machiavellianism, a term drawn from the cunning tactics of the Italian political philosopher Niccolo Machiavelli. We've learned that it's a trait characterized by a person's willingness to manipulate others for personal gain, with little regard for morality or ethical standards. We've also delved into the fascinating psychology behind this trait. We've discovered that it's part of the dark triad, alongside narcissism and psychopathy, and that it's often found in individuals who exhibit low empathy and high strategic thinking. But perhaps most crucially, we've discussed how to shield ourselves from the effects of Machiavellianism. We've learned to recognize the signs, to be wary of too good to be true offers, to maintain strong boundaries, and to keep our emotional responses in check. We've also emphasized the importance of cultivating a network of trusted allies who can provide support and perspective when we're faced with potential manipulation. Indeed, this journey has been as enlightening as it has been challenging. It's reminded us that the human psyche is a labyrinth, filled with fascinating and sometimes daunting corners. But as we navigate this maze, we become more resilient, more aware, and ultimately more empowered. Remember, knowledge is power. By understanding Machiavellianism, you empower yourself to recognize it and protect yourself from its effects.